Today's episode is brought to you by Palace of Frankenstein, the stirring new novel by Richard Davenport. In Palace of Frankenstein, we travel to a world unlike ours in every way imaginable. Palace of Frankenstein has been nominated for several Golden Globies and also been nominated for several Frankenstein Awards. The film is not yet made, but the book is what the film will be based on. So check out Palace of Frankenstein on Amazon or KindleReaders.com.
When you walk down the road, heavy burden, heavy load, I will rise and I will walk with you. I'll walk with you till the sun don't even shine. Walk with you every time. I tell you, I'll walk with you. Believe me, I'll walk.
Let's all be wizards and fly around in the sky. Let's all be wizards, immortal we could never die. Let's cast some spells with all of our dear friends. Let's all be wizards, the magic it will never end. And we'll fly so high in the sky. Fly so high in the sky. Fly so high in the sky. Right into the night.
Hello and welcome to Let's Just Be Wizards. I'm your host, Adam Hilton, and in the studio we have...
Co-host Coco.
And who's next in this
I'm
rotation?
the indispensable, reprehensible Max Lehman.
Nice.
Hi, Diamond Drew here.
And we're all hosts.
We're all the hosts.
Just to
of
clear
this
that
show,
up,
We're all
just
here.
in case any.
This week on Wizards,
I'm not all here though.
we call upon the glorious heavenly spirits that are the angels to aid us in achieving our sickest goals. How's that? I know that was terrible. How was
Lord,
everybody's
please, let-
week?
Good. Good.
Good. You had a good week.
Grood?
Not
Great and good.
Well, what about magically? You know, how's
Successful or non-successful, you mean?
Yeah. What's the magic been in your life?
I did do my homework,
Nice. Yeah, we have
And-
homework again now.
and that worked out pretty well, but it's something I'm pretty familiar with. So this week for me was good in that I reconnected with some of my old practices and techniques that I haven't used in a while.
Nice. Yeah, so we'll be getting into that later on. And what about you, Max?
Well, with my out of town crew, I helped clear a necropolis in Newcastle. Had like a warehouse on top of it, and
Wait, a real necropolis?
yeah, it was. Well, we got in early enough. They didn't wake up yet, but
Who didn't wake up?
What are you talking
What
about?
is this?
and we found like these vampires.
What?
It was crazy.
Who's we? What?
Max, this is the first.
That's like the
were you
plot
just like
to Life
saving
Force.
this
My friend-
for the show?
Halfway
or
through,
my
you find
friend
out
and
there's
then,
I think you
like,
would have mentioned
This
this
guy was
to
a
us if you
landscaper,
weren't.
so he brought like the hedge clipper.
This is definitely the plot to a movie.
In case we needed it. So,
Is this a tabletop game?
no.
Have you felt like...
We were just
like,
hunting for artifacts. We weren't trying to rouse the dead.
I don't know, I feel like
But,
subconsciously I do some sort of, magic stuff throughout the day. Sometimes I don't
Yeah.
realize it.
It was a good week though.
Yeah,
Made it out of there intact.
thank God. Well, we were all praying for you. What about... What about you, Andrew?
I did the homework. I did some other magic. Just burned some candles. cast some spells on some bronies. Worked out great. I came up with a really dank meme.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was it? Like a GIF?
It was not a GIF. It was just an edited. It was an. You know what? I saved it as a GIF on accident, but I didn't mean to. That was just pain.
So people be like really disappointed.
It would take it's from too far in the future. It would take too long to explain it.
Okay.
The references would be lost on you.
Some meme magic.
Yeah, doing some
Start
meme
planting
magic.
seeds in the minds of people.
Well, this was funny. I was discussing the content of this meme with people, and they were like, "We're kind of out of stuff to say about this." Everyone kind of agreed, and then my point was like, "Yes, we know what the message is. Now we just need to meme the shit out of it. That's the only thing the internet has to add to this besides, said phantom drama."
Oh, the fandom.
Oh, fandoms! How fun they are.
Yes.
How bored we were. I feel like we had reached some level of peak boredom in the fandom where, like, just something had to break. Something had to happen. We had to, have someone fall from grace, essentially.
Yeah. And this is the My Little Pony.
This is for the ponies, if in case you're not a long-time listener of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The resident brony.
I'm still doing that.
And Brony Mancy, right?
Yes, I will. I could do a whole episode
Oh,
on this.
you could you?
Extremely wonderful story about my pony magic altar in my room.
Maybe that could be an episode.
Maybe I could totally go on about that.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a seed planted. And speaking of seeds planted, I didn't plant any seeds.
Oh.
I didn't try and grow anything.
But if anyone has any ideas for future episodes like that one that are amazing,
Join our Discord chat and please suggest them there.
Yeah. Well, my week, let's see. It's, obviously because of the quote unquote homework assignments that we have to do, you guys have to do, I choose to do.
oh my God.
I tried to do it.
Try. Yeah, no, that's all you have to do is try.
Max, you need to talk
I've
into your
definitely experienced some powerful forces, and we'll get into it later. So, yeah, why don't we just go right into the news?
Okay. A pro-choice group in Missouri is suing the state to overturn the state's strict anti-abortion laws on religious discrimination grounds. If they prevail, if they prevail in the case, an organization named the Dark Lords of the Underworld
Nice.
could upend a 2016 law requiring women to wait 72 hours before an abortion. This would be the first time in history when a religious liberty argument would be used on the pro-choice side of things, rather than pro-life. Since the Supreme Court ruled in favor of religious liberty in the 2014 ruling of Burwell versus Hobby Lobby, it's looking very likely that the case may be successful.
Wow.
The Missouri Supreme Court will be filing its ruling in the coming weeks, and we will keep you updated on this extremely exciting story.
Man, to be a fly on the wall in that courtroom.
Yeah, wow. If we
So
could just-
can you dumb that down for me and others?
a satanic
perhaps?
group is suing Missouri to overturn their strict anti-abortion laws.
Right, but they're using
on
what is
religious
this?
grounds.
What is this 72-hour thing?
Okay, well, the law itself says that if a woman schedules an abortion, the doctor has to make her listen to the heartbeat and then wait 72 hours before the process is done.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
Wait, where is that in?
Missouri.
Well,
So they're
yeah,
trying to
that
overturn that law?
Not surprising.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because that's fucked up.
Yeah.
No shade on Missouri, but the politicians
Shade on Missouri.
that
Well, hopefully this group in Missouri is successful. If you're pro-life, I'm pro-women's choice.
Is that where you stand?
Me, personally, I don't like the idea of abortions, but it wouldn't be up to me since I wouldn't be the pregnant person.
I think it'd be kind of creepy if someone liked the idea of abortion.
It would be up to the pregnant person to make that. Yeah.
To like be into abortions.
Yeah, good for it. I want everyone getting abortions.
We should stay at.
Yeah, can we? I've got more.
Let's
hop out of this because this is getting very, very ridiculous. All right. The Pope Francis denounces fake news as satanic.
Wow.
Yeah. The Pope describes false news as being evil and accused its peddlers of disinformation and employing of snake-like tactics similar to Satan when he disguised as the serpent and tempted Eve to eat several Tide Pods. This was a strategy.
No, did you write that?
Did I write my copy that I'm reading right now?
The Tide Pods?
Did I write all of this copy after I did my news research?
That's
yes,
funny.
Adam,
Keep going.
I did.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh, wonderful. Can I get a do-over, please? No, all right.
Cat fight.
All right. In the book of Genesis, at the dawn of humanity, this was the first creation of fake news. And I think this is a cool way to get your people to stop doing stupid shit like reposting BS stories like on Facebook and calling it satanic. Like, oh, if you tell them the thing you're doing is satanic, they're not going to want to do it anymore. But good on you. But by calling fake news satanic, you are in a way adding to the problem of fake news.
Isn't the Catholic Church fake news?
I think that this whole thing is extremely ironic in that way that the Pope, who basically, can write whatever headline he wants at any moment,
exactly,
is calling out fake news as satanic. This
is definitely a simulation
funny,
that we're living in.
It's like this is like. Yeah, bad idea inception. Just
but
both goes sides, in a circle.
Both sides are jumping to the other side being satanic, Yeah. It's like now the Pope is calling
the Pope is fake news. So obviously fake news is not satanic. He just got duped by Satan to make some fake news if what he's saying is true.
But people like Alex Jones are always saying like, oh, it's Satanism, or even people just on these truth, what would you call it, like alt
skeptic, deep state fanatic guys.
Yes. George Soros and that sort of stuff. People into that. They say that they're like the Illuminati Satanists, that do this, like we've talked about before, these rituals, to gain power. But it seems like I don't know. I just feel kind of.
Well, how do we feel about fake news being satanic here? Is it or isn't it?
Well, the people who accuse it of being that can't really clearly define what Satanism is.
That's a good point.
Satanism is a great way to just lump something into
get your people to react,
and it's a great way to just slap a label on something.
Oh,
and
no, not
to
Satan
make it
again.
Seem, if you just want to say something, you would call someone a blanket term like you're a racist or you're a homophobic, you're a Satanist. It's just a really easy way to discredit something.
Which is so ridiculous to me in this modern age that we would be so disrespectful of a person's religious views.
That. Well, here's a good story that should warm all of our hearts here. Casa Grande, Arizona. The Satanic Temple of Arizona has just adopted a stretch of road on Interstate 10. Stu DeHaan, the group's founder, said, "What we are really showing here is Satanism is a legitimate religion, even though it is non-theistic." Damn you, the phone. No, he didn't say that. What we are really showing here is that Satanism is a legitimate religion. Even though it's non-theistic, we are showing that the people do have a sense of community and they want to get involved. Well, his group is, obviously.
Right. But they're doing good things.
Yeah. So,
the name of Satan, so that's
the group
cool.
can be seen on the weekends with red pitchforks and reflective pentagrams on their shirts, removing litter on their newly adopted highway to hell.
So they're subtle. They're not about making a big show of what they do.
They actually have like red pitchforks that they pick up the litter with.
so
This is
cute.
legit. It's super cute. Yeah, they are adorbs malorbs. I love these guys. They're just, and what are we doing? Sitting here talking. They're like actually cleaning up.
We're
They're
sharing
better community.
ideas.
They're actually making their community
And we're just
better.
creating more litter for
And
them
we're
to
just-
pick up.
People throwing out used copies of our podcast on the highway.
Yes.
Copies of our, who has a CD? Send us a CD of a copy of our podcast.
If you
please.
have our podcast burned to CD, please send us a copy so that we can litter it on the Casa Grande, Arizona Interstate 10.
And with that,
That's the news.
That's the news. All right, now speaking of Satan, we're on to our topic, angels. So, what are angels? Do you
The
know?
artist previous-
What do you think
now
of when
known
you
as
think of
Satan.
an angel, listener? Do you think of a...
Think about it.
I think of John Travolta dancing in a movie.
Nice, deep cut.
Michael.
That was a good film, actually.
It's a pretty entertaining movie. If
I
you
wish
want
you
the-
flew
The media
more.
has
He
so
doesn't fly.
fucked up the
Like-
idea of angels. I'm just going to say that right off
I
the bat.
think of
And I think most people have such a misconception.
Ye-
White flowing gown. Halo.
snarky,
And they're
trench
always
coat
white and they
wearing.
have blonde hair and they're all Aryan and shit. It's just such a silly thing that's been injected into pop culture that people that's what they think of in the West.
Well, in
I'm
Touched
pretty
by
sure-
an Angel, what was the angel?
Della
God.
Reese was the angel and
Who
touched
was?
by Della Reese was the angel and touched by an angel.
Who's that?
She's the actress who played the angel.
Didn't that angel run like a cafe or something?
I think she was like
Damn.
some angel
I think
cake.
that there was like several. They did like kind of a quantum leap thing where they were doing like several vignettes an episode, and the angel was never helping
I
the
was
same
never
person
into that
twice.
show.
There's
I have
also the
no
show-
idea.
Angel, that's a spin-off of Buffy the Vampire
Ooh, now that's
Slayer.
my kind of
That probably
that's
is
my
more the
show.
kind of show we're going to be...
So that
I
would be
haven't
the most
seen
like.
it.
So
That
hold
show's
on,
about
that's
vampires and demon hunting.
so that's more the kind of angel we're talking about.
supernatural.
Angel's a
Yes.
vampire.
The ones that waged
And
the
jealous.
spiritual war while we were just kind of sitting on our butts looking at our phones. They're out in the fifth dimension.
Well, I don't. Yeah,
That show
Causing a
really
ruckus.
jumped the shark. That made me
They're
sad.
cleaning
Which
the
one
highway
did?
in the fifth dimension.
did they
Angel.
adopt Highway?
Well, I'm talking about what we're talking about. I'm not talking about the show anymore. I'm past that. You guys are just goofing off now.
I'm not goofing off. I never.
Angels, as messengers of God, are found in numerous faiths. Zoroastrianism, Neoplatonism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Baha'i, Hinduism, and Sikhism. A hierarchy of angels is a belief or tradition found in the angelology of different religions, which holds that there are different levels or ranks of angels. Higher ranks may be asserted to have greater power or authority over lower ranks, and with different ranks having differences in appearance, such as varying numbers of wings or faces. So, yeah, an angel can have 1,000,000 faces, can look
Yeah,
like a
and-
burning wheel.
I mean, an angel doesn't look like anything you've ever seen before, does it?
Like a Gundam robot.
Well,
Gundam.
Like before you ever saw a
before
Gundam
you ever,
before?
if you had never seen a Gundam robot and then you saw an angel, you might think that's what it looks like.
Right. It would be that
But
shock.
they're probably
They're
gigantic.
usually white and shiny and fast. So yeah.
So, yeah, on this podcast, I wanted to take a look at the pseudo-Dionysus model. Is that how you say it, Courtney? Mm-hmm. Okay. Which asserts that there are 3 levels or spheres in which angels take their place in angel world, as it's called. Right? Angel world.
Yeah, that's the professional term
Yeah.
for it.
So there's 3 spheres, and as you get close, as you peel the onion, you get closer and closer to the ones that talk to us On the first sphere is where the seraphim, the cherubim, and the thrones hang out. So the seraphim are the highest angelic class and serve as the caretaker of God's throne and continuously shout phrases, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory."
Why are they doing this?
I know, and aren't seraphim...
Allegedly.
Oh, no.
Who's
I'm thinking of
reporting
Nephilim.
it? Where you? Where,
This is fake news.
This sounds like
No.
some
Are they
fake
angels
news to
or
me.
JVC speakers? I don't.
They
Oh,
could
and
just-
cherubim, you know, the little guys that shoot a heart arrow at your
Oh,
bottom.
yeah,
and make you fall in
Valentine's
love.
Day is right around the corner.
They have 4 faces. One of a man, an ox, a lion, and an eagle. They have 4 conjoined wings covered with eyes, a lion's body, and the feet of oxen. And they guard the way to the tree of life in the Garden of Eden.
Do they yell things?
I don't know if they yell things. I'd imagine if they had all those faces, they'd either be really quiet or really talkative, depending. And then there's the thrones, or elders. And they're a class of celestial beings mentioned by Paul the Apostle. They are the living symbol of God's justice and authority and appear as barrel-colored wheel within a wheel, with their rim covered in hundreds of eyes. That kind of... I'd never heard of thrones before. Have you?
Thrones OP, please nerve.
What's that?
Means thrones are OP, please nerve.
I
Is
don't
this internet
understand that
speak?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Team Fortress
That
2
explains.
chatter.
I'm not like super.
It seemed like you were describing classes of players in a silly sort of a game.
I'm not. I'm not super familiar with the Dionysian hierarchy.
Why not?
I don't identify with it because I don't. My experience has been more like firsthand and less book. And as I understand it, that there is a hierarchy, and I don't know where would archangels fall in this.
Oh, archangels, they're the 3rd sphere. And these are the
Didn't
ones
he
low
fall
enough on the
to,
totem
like,
pole.
Indiana in that movie?
What?
In Michael. He was an archangel.
Yeah, he's in the 3rd sphere.
Okay.
I don't think he was an archangel.
Yeah, he says he was in that
He's not
movie.
the Archangel Michael, is he?
Yeah, that's what they're
I
saying
don't know about
in
that movie, but the whole point is that Archangel Michael. Okay, go into it.
3rd sphere. Low enough on the totem pole. Mere mortals. That's who they hang out with.
We're able to communicate or commune with archangels, the higher realms of angels. And you know, there's an interesting. I'm just going to bring this up because I find it personally very interesting. There's a correlation that people have made between angels and it even said celestial bodies in there that you were just speaking about earlier. So there is a correlation supposedly between angels and archangels and so on and so forth with celestial bodies. So I've heard it said that like angels.
Are you talking about aliens?
Well, sometimes it goes into that territory and it's kind of convoluted, but
ancient alien theorists project
basically, the theory is,
that angels could have possibly been visitors.
They live on Jupiter.
the theory is
another
that
world.
like an entire galaxy could be an archangel. Do you see what I'm saying? So like the archangel would be the
Constellation.
consciousness of an entire galaxy.
Yeah, I've thought
So-
about that before. How a galaxy must, on a macro level, like, you know, you get from the human being, and then you have all humanity as one organism, and then you pull
Right,
out.
collective.
You have all these planets as one organism, and then you pull
Yeah.
out. And so the angels might be different.
And like we used to worship the sun in ancient times as like that was God in monotheism. So I mean, it's not that far off. It's interesting. This is called astro. What is it called? Astrotheism. That's what this is called. So that's a whole other topic. But
Oh, that could be a topic.
It could be a topic because it's very fucking interesting. But the angels.
Fuck, it's interesting.
Fuck, it's fucking.
Oh my god,
fucking angels.
fucking interesting.
No, but as it pertains to
I need more
angels,
coffee.
I think it's quite interesting.
Yeah. No, it sounds more interesting than this thing, but I was just like, I don't know. Reading
Basically,
off,
there's a
like, what it's in-
hierarchy.
There's a hierarchy in the second sphere. There's virtues, powers, and dominions. And the third sphere, like I said, there's the principalities, archangels, and regular ass angels.
Regular
Basic.
Like, you know, angels in the
basic-ass
outfield.
bitch angles. Yeah,
Like, those are
They're in the
ones.
outfield.
yeah, those are the ones who.
But who has it the best, you know? Because you look at the cherubim and the seraphim and all them, and you're just like, you guys are just kind of like upper manage. You guys are like CEOs,
So,
kind of, but like not
all right.
just upper management.
So
let's say.
we're talking about the betrench coated angels that Nicolas Cage is from that other movie.
No, not Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Oh, City of Angels.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He goes and
Oh,
he goes.
yeah,
So
that's a hot one.
I was thinking we were still talking
it
about
feels
Michael.
like fucking.
But then again, it's Nicolas Cage.
Cheech
so I don't
Marin
know.
was in that. He was an ex-angel.
Yeah.
Who decided
But-
not to be that anymore.
So, but the
The
hierarchy
Goo Goo
of
Dolls were in
angels.
that movie.
They did. They sang, "I don't want the world to see me," but the song was called Iris.
Spotify it. Okay, go
It's
ahead.
called Iris.
So the hierarchy of angels also can be looked at as like having the ability to exist within higher dimensions. So like it's not necessarily a hierarchy like we think of it, like at an organizational chart at a business. You know, this is the CEO, and then these are the upper management and middle management. It's not like that. It's like they have the ability to access higher dimensions. So it's just the way that things are. Like
Yeah.
we live in a third dimensional reality. But we can get more into that later.
I tell you, that seventh dimension, man, that's where the real shit
Is that where it goes
happens.
down?
Oh, yeah, nothing but dice games.
Yeah,
Back
it's
alley
just
dice.
back in, just
shooting
dice games
shooting craps in the seventh
drinking
dimension.
liquor.
And drinking real liquor. All right.
Adam, I had a dream you drank several beers. Like you came over to my house and had
Oh.
several beers.
I think I had a dream that I drank.
That's
too.
really weird.
Recently, at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah.
We did have the
Maybe
same
I drank
dream.
in your dreams.
I think you came to my dream
He said, "Hey,
to have a beer. You're like,
fuck
well,
it."
we can drink here. And yeah, that was like, but that's what like your attitude was when you were doing it. You were like, fuck it. This isn't, we're just convening in this astral plane. Like, I guess I'll have a beer. Like,
It's fine in different planes of reality.
I get, well, it
you
didn't,
know,
it didn't, you seemed fine.
Yeah. We don't need to go into
Yeah.
this.
Adam doesn't drink. That's why this was unusual.
Yeah, yeah.
That's as far as yeah.
All right. And then, so the hierarchy of angels is also present in Gnosticism. Do you guys know what Gnosticism is?
Yes.
That gnosis. Did we talk about Gnosticism?
I think
before?
we've definitely, it's come up a lot,
Yes,
I'm
we
sure.
Oh, okay. Which episode was that? Do you remember?
was
Matt?
like
It's
the
come up in a
third or
few
fourth
episodes.
Okay. Well,
This was a
as
long
specific-
time ago.
That was back. Yeah, it was like 2 years ago. Back when we were only on episode number
4.
4.
Before my
now
time.
We're all the way to season 2, episode 2. So in Gnosticism, they have something called an archon, which is a servant of the demiurge, the creator god that stood between the human race and the transcendent god that could only be reached through gnosis. See, actually, I was talking to my dad about this today, who's a pastor, and we were talking about Gnosticism. And he was telling me, yeah, in Gnosticism, I believe, originally the god of Gnosticism wasn't a good guy. Like the demiurge.
Right.
The demiurge that blocked us from the original god.
Correct.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting.
And the archons in Gnosticism are still looked at as, depending on who you talk to, they're still looked at as
Bedevilers.
malevolent forces that are trying to control humanity.
Yeah, it says in my research that they're the people that they're like angels, kind of.
Well, how did their angels compare to the last angels we heard about?
These
Angel's a
ones,
blanket term, so there's going to be a lot of different definitions.
Well, what I'm trying to zero in on here is what's the common thread? What are all these different groups
Spirits.
talking about that makes all of these things called the same thing?
Messenger,
Yeah.
which is what the word means.
Yeah.
But I mean, are these really messengers? Because that's what I'm wondering is what message are they bringing? More like they're doing work, you know?
Well, yeah. So the idea is that they're
Oh no, they are kind of telling us shit.
But that's the thing.
right.
The
They're more
messengers
for
to
guidance
us. Yeah.
than anything.
Didn't an archangel wrestle with like Daniel?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I forget the specifics,
That's
but I
kind of
definitely learned about
there's
that.
common threads like that in other cultures, like in Greek.
What were they wrestling about?
Chiron trained Achilles. So I don't know. They were wrestling about like I don't know.
He's
He sold a rug for too little, and so
Wait a minute.
they wrestled on the rug.
No, they were wrestling because he was like, "I'll wrestle if I wrestle you. You know, will you tell me the secrets of God or let me see God or
that's
something?"
That and rugs.
Okay,
That's probably it.
Anyways, there's also a present angels, used in the magical sense in Enochian magic, and that's
Making
called
me
back to
hungry.
the John Dee episode. But yeah, John Dee was primarily the person. Him and Edward Kelly were primarily the people that promulgated this form of belief. Later on, people like Samuel Liddell, McGregor Mathers, Aleister Crowley, and others elaborated on this system of magic. But the raw material for the Enochian magical system was dictated through a series of angelic communications, which lasted from 1582 to 1589. This is between John Dee and Edward Kelly. They claimed to have received these instructions from angels. And while Kelly conducted the psychic operation known as scrying, Dee kept meticulous written records. Kelly looked into a crystal shoe stone and described aloud what he saw. So that's how they came up with like the angel language that we talked about in that episode. I believe we all tried scrying in that as well. So it's also in the Hermetic Kabbalah, and in the one described by the Golden Dawn, there are 10 archangels, each commanding one of the choir of angels and corresponding to one of the Sephirot, similar to the Jewish angelic hierarchy. Yeah.
Nice.
Did I cover everything about angels?
Well, that's hard to say because
I know the answer, but you can tell me your opinion.
Well, no, there's so much out there about angels.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we've only referenced like 3 angel-based movies so far, so we definitely haven't covered everything.
Barely scratched the surface. Yep.
there's
Oh,
there's
sorry,
a
go
lot
ahead.
out there that's not super ancient with all these texts and all this documentation. There's a lot out there that's fairly new and new age, admittedly, and there's so many different things that are done
Like
with
when
angels.
you hear on the news, like a man drove his car off a bridge and he waited for hours until he finally heard a voice from within saying to hang on another minute. And
I
then
believe that's fake
right then,
news. So no.
No, that sounds like a fifth dimensional messenger.
no,
to
like
me.
I've seen news stories like this. I don't like the guy like who's like, yeah, miraculously survived a car crash. I totally heard a voice. Like, we're supposed to just flip this guy the bird and call it fake news. Like, yeah, it's sensational. It seems like a bunch of new agey kind of like God is out there, a baderp, enjoy your coffee, get to work kind of crap. But
It's been reduced, I think, on purpose to. Well,
it helps
there is
people
some-
understand. I think the reduction in it is, but I think when you say new age, I think that's like the context most people like kind of feel like they've experienced it in. Like, oh yeah, I heard about that guy on the news that the fire truck showed up,
Well, I think that's more like a Christian context, or like a Catholic or Christian context. But in the New Age movement, there's so much information that's been allegedly channeled, and it's like really crazy, powerful stuff. It's not. I mean, I'm only speaking from my own firsthand experience with it, but I mean, I do think that we all get messages. So at certain times in our lives, or feelings, and whether we're receptive to them or not can depend on what we're going through in life or how we feel at the time. But you can call it whatever you want. Like, you can call it a spirit guide, you can call it a guardian angel, you can call it like the devas. They call them devas in Hinduism. They're like mechanisms of the universe.
I'm going to call them angels.
You can call them angels?
That's what they are.
Anglo-Saxon?
I don't know. Yeah, if you call them anything else, it's just like...
For all intents and purposes, we can call them angels. But I think that it's important for people to understand these are essentially what angels are
aliens.
They are upper dimensional beings that are non-physical, that are entities that we can communicate with and gain insight from.
What about Gene, or DJINN? I wonder if they're
Jinn.
Yeah, Jinn.
Those are spirits. Same sort of concept in Islam, or is that in?
Yes.
They just kind of spark into existence briefly and disappear.
Jinn are not necessarily like. I don't know if they're like good or bad.
Oh, they're bad.
Oh, they're bad.
Well,
yeah.
in Islam, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I haven't read the Quran, but I believe they are mentioned in there. And I'd really like to look more into that, because one of my dad's friends claimed that he was inhabited by a jinn, and it would make him like superhumanly strong when he would get angry and stuff. And he was Muslim.
Angels are on the same, like in the same way that they are, non-physical entities that we can communicate with, as are demons. So it's just like I see it as like there's a spectrum, and all these entities are on the spectrum and different.
Oh, really? You don't think there's angels and demons as
what? They're the same. They're essentially the same thing. It's like okay, you have a what's a good analogy? Like, you have
one of those
there's a serial killer, and then there's the cop that catches the serial killer. Okay, they're both human beings, but they're both doing like the opposite thing. The cop is trying to do the good thing and catch the serial killer, or the detective, or whatever, and the serial killer's off like fucking murdering people. But so they're capable of doing the same things, yet they are doing opposite things.
So they're not the same then.
In that they are carbon-based human life forms, yes. In that angels and demons are spiritual entities,
working for
yes.
different motivations, obviously.
Yes.
So then I would say they're different.
They're on different frequencies.
Do you think that Satan really made all the demons, or do you think that demons are like part of the angels that are fallen, or where'd they come from? Who gave birth to demons? But we're not talking about demons. I'm sorry. That's why we're doing this episode.
We're definitely talking about demons here, because like when you told me to talk to angels this week, I was like, fuck that, I ain't talking to no fucking angel. I'm gonna talk to demons. That's what I talk to. And then when I tried to do your angel thing, like, my angel was like, fuck y'all can go to hell. Here's what hell looks like. I'm gonna make
we're not at experiences yet.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
this is our clunkiest episode we've ever done.
Yeah. Should we redo it?
No, I think we should continue, and I think you should, as long as we stay within format,
just take the
to
path
some
of
degree.
least resistance here.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. I was thinking it'd be cool if we did like if you gave us kind of a method, Courtney, that you use for communicating with angels. Rather than pull one off of some blog.
Sure. Okay, so very briefly, and I'll try and keep it non-denominational as possible.
Okay.
So really briefly, a technique to contact to contact your guardian angel, or to contact angels. Period. What are you looking for?
Yeah.
That's not a yes or no.
Guardian angel.
Okay. So you should get into a meditative state for about 5 minutes or so. It doesn't take too long, and do some deep breathing, focus on your breath, that sort of thing. After you feel relaxed, you want to call in what's called the golden dome of protection. You just visualize a golden light sort of dome hovering around you. And if you happen to be...
Can we all just do this for a second? Can we imagine the golden dome of protection?
I do it before every podcast, actually. I bring it over all of us.
All right, we're ready?
Do you...
People listening. Yes, Andrew?
Nothing.
All right. People listening right now, what do you do again? You ask?
So go ahead and conjure up the golden dome of protection and visualize it around you. Fill up the dome with the golden light, and if you notice any dark spots kind of floating around, you'll want to visualize them being kind of poofed out of existence by this golden light, because it's like a kind of a fire of sorts. It's like it burns up any negative energy. So you'll do that, and then you will put your feelers out and say whatever it is that you feel is the best way to contact your guardian angel, which can also be considered your spirit guide or your higher self, and ask for confirmation of its existence. That's the first thing that you want to do, especially if you're a more cynical person.
How do you get confirmation from an angel?
Everybody's different in the way that they receive messages from the spirit world. Some people are, there's like the terms clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance. So you might see things, you might hear things, you might have a sensation in your body. So it just depends on how you pick up messages, and you'll have to figure that out for yourself. And the angels will show you that. If you, with enough frequency of doing this practice, you'll start to pick up the signs from them. But for me personally, it's physical sensations. So like it'll have, like the other night, do we want to get
No,
into
we're not
this?
doing experiences yet, remember?
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm making the podcast bad today.
No, you're not.
You really are.
No, you're not.
You really, really
It's
are.
fine. It's
All
fine.
It is what it is. So yeah, for me personally, I pick up sensations in my body. So for instance, I'll ask a question like, can you please make yourself known to me? Like, can give me some kind of sign that you're there. And I'll get like chills down the left side of my body. But that's just how I pick up messages. And then I'll say, okay, so if I get a chill down the left side of my body, does that mean is that a yes? And then it'll happen again. Mm-hmm. And then I'll ask another question and say, I'll get a chill down the right side of my body, and I'll say, does that mean no? And they'll say, they'll do it on the left side to say yes, to confirm. So that's how I do it. But everyone's different. Some people see things.
That's what I experienced.
Did you see things?
Yes, with my eyes closed. I did see
man.
very vivid images.
Yeah. I see
really
angels
get into
when
the
I
experiences.
do.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Yeah, because these are going to be really cool. I feel like
With our experiences.
Yes.
Did everyone have an experience?
I definitely had one.
I kind of did. I had more experience than the next day.
I feel like it's a pretty powerful thing, whichever way you take, whether it's good or bad. Like you usually have some kind of something happen.
Because we've worked with demons before,
Yeah.
I was just thinking like, hey, Let's give the
they
angels
just pop
some love.
up. Like
mean
but the
the-
demons just like
Lesser keys of
pop
Solomon.
up. They're like floor buyers. Just like I got a deal for you right here.
It
I'm
might
ready to
be
go.
though,
Like,
Drew,
yeah.
that they just pop up easily for you because you might be tapped into that more so, and it's not a good or bad thing.
No, I
It's
don't.
just-
I don't think that it is but what I do think is like from what I've experienced dealing with angels is, they're pretty much not going to do anything to help you unless you really feel like you're having a problem right now. Like if you're just kind of trying to do this, then when everything is fine, they'll just be like, there's consequences to dealing with high powers, and they like get kind of pissed at you for wasting their time. But no, like soon as I'm in an emotional place where I feel like I really need some power bigger than myself, then the angels come in, all happy to help with fucking really insightful shit to help you. Like unless you're like the type of person who feels like something is happening large enough that you need an emotional response, like on the inside, I don't think that angels are gonna do fucking jack shit for you.
Well, why don't we go into your experience? Let's start it off.
Well,
Yeah.
can I just really quickly finish
Sorry, go
the
ahead.
method to communicate with the guardian angel? I just want to
Yeah.
make sure we finish that up. So, you ask for some type of confirmation from them to let you know that they exist, that they're there. If you don't receive anything, that's okay. Just keep doing it, and eventually you'll have stuff either happen in your waking life or during the meditation. And if you don't, then you don't. But I mean, most people that I've talked to that have done this have experienced something. And then once you're done with your meditation, I would give it 5 to 10 minutes of just open and receiving any kind of messages that you might want from your guardian angels. And then, because some people have more than one, by the way, guardian angels. Some people have 2 or 3. Just depends.
Depends on how many people live in the district, and
It depends on the metropolitan.
A lot of gerrymandering going
the
on.
angel divvying out.
So an important part of this is to close it out is to always express some kind of gratitude because essentially these beings are in charge of sort of nudging you in the right direction in life, and it's just good to pay some respect to them. I know with demons it's not quite the same,
Right.
but with angels it's definitely on that level of gratitude is really powerful when you're working with angels. So thanking them is good, and then and you'll envision that golden dome kind of fading away, and then you're done. That's the end of that.
Yeah. That's the technique I used. 'Cause
It's
you told
super
me it,
it's
and-
super effective.
Oh, nice. Dank meme. Oh,
You also
dank.
told me to hold a rose quartz and what was the
Well,
other
we
one?
had those around, so that's good. But I had
Amethyst?
the rose quartz
Amethyst.
because the rose quartz is connected with the heart chakra, which is the chakra that connects the lower and higher chakras. So that's where angels kind of do their thing, and it's also where healing is able to come in. And then amethyst is good because it's a metaphysical protection stone. So to protect you from any entities that might be trying to get in when you're in a reception mode.
Oh, good. We're still recording. I just had to check that. So, yeah, I held those 2 crystals, and I really felt something. I'll just go into my experience first here while I'm talking about it. But that was the same method I used. I have my notebook right here. And just kind of going around, going to look around here and see what it says. So I started doing this on Monday, and I meditated, chanting angel internally until a white light opened up. And actually, I didn't use your technique. This was something that I
That
just
is
kind of...
totally good and fine.
Yeah.
Great.
And as for a sign that I was in communication with an angel, there was no sign. I asked the angel's name, but all I heard was Lucifer.
Yeah.
On my notes. So maybe a demon is cock blocking my angel. I'm just reading this straight out of the journal I
That's
kept.
awesome that you wrote that.
That was at 7:55 p.m. Apparently, I wrote one a few minutes later. Oh yeah, this is after I asked you how Courtney how to do the how to properly communicate with angels. So I meditated with the rose quartz and amethyst, felt very powerful in my chest. I felt like this surge of energy there. And I kept hearing this phrase told to me, like by these supposed angels, which was Nocturnus Adelphi. And yeah, I looked that up and it means Night Brothers.
Nice.
Night Brothers.
Night Brothers.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That
It
is
was,
cool.
let's see. It's hard to differentiate, though, between angels and demons. Like,
So
sometimes
it seems
they
like
just
you had
pop
some pretty obvious, like, just demon. Like I said, they just pop up, dude.
Dude, it's so hard to get the demons. I mean, I have to be honest. I'm probably
was-
littered with the.
Yeah,
infested with
I
demons
like
from all
this
the
was
stuff
like
we've been doing on these episodes.
This was what I felt as well. Like I'm like, oh no, it's too late. They're not coming back. Like the angels are not coming back. Like
So I tried to get my angels to show signs. Like I'm like, all right, show me a noise that's not a house creaking or a car going by. Because I was like, those are the most common noises. If it's something else, but I never got anything with that technique. So the next day I asked angels to clear away any demons inside of me, and it was hard to concentrate. I asked for a sign. After a few minutes, my thumb twitched. And so I guess that was my sign there. Totally forget this happened. There's not much communication, but it did feel nice holding the rose quartz and amethyst. So another win with that. Go out and get some. Let's see what happened on Wednesday. I meditated with the crystals again, and I had Michael cast that golden dome of protection, and brought myself to a state of gratitude. Poofed all the black clouds of negative energy away. I was getting lots of negative energy in my chest while I was doing this.
Ooh.
My chest, my throat, like inside of me in general. You know, poofing it away and just like.
Well, that's interesting because, like I was saying earlier, like the 3 lower chakras are the ones that are, negative or more like earth based, and then the top 3 are spiritual, and then the heart connects them. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting that I was in the heart.
Demons in my heart. I know there's a song in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I took a break, and then yesterday I meditated and Golden Dome protection, and this is kind of funny. At it says here 10:14 p.m. Michael Golden Dome met BBDS, which stands for Bad Boys Deception Squad.
Oh
who
my
are
god.
supposedly my guardian angels, but they also poofed away, so they might have been demons.
Oh yeah, they probably.
The Bad Boys
Can
Deception Squad.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and Jesus showed up and told me to quit smoking. My head started vibrating when he said that.
Ooh, that's
He
always
went
a
out
good
and
one.
smoked a cigarette, and
Yes,
then I
I-
knew I needed a cigarette.
Yeah, pretty much. That's you tell me to stop smoking. I'm like, yeah, God, you're right. Let me go have a cigarette and think about that.
yeah.
Taking my demons with me.
Oh boy.
Bad boy deception squad. Let's go have a cig.
Yeah. Cleansed out. Yeah, it says I cleansed out my living quarters, and I was very thankful. And I think going into this, trying to create a state of thankfulness and gratitude was helped make the experience more intense. But yeah, it seemed like, I don't know, like because I was brought up as a Quaker, where it's like you have a direct communication with God and Jesus. You know, if you want to talk to them, you go just straight to them. Or that's how I interpreted it as a child raised that way. And so in doing this angel stuff, I was just like, why am I talking to all these guys? Like they're just like the hired help. Like they're just out doing, angel
All these
stuff.
middlemen.
Yeah, it's
middle
like
management.
they might show up, and do something. But
So
it's
when
like,
you were practicing Quakerism, did you feel like you could convene with God and Jesus like
Yes.
that? You did it all the time, huh?
one time I told God, I was like, make me throw up because I felt sick and
Yeah.
I just puked right then.
What?
And that was like a sign, And
When
I
I-
would get
when I was,
dreams
like-
and signs from God that I would become martyred in the name
Huh.
of
Whoa.
Christ. Yes.
When I was like, because I was raised Christian, and which was actually, as some people don't know, maybe they do. I was very averse to the idea or the concept of angels before I got into it, into angel work like 8 years ago. And before that, though, I used to just think it was so stupid because I was raised in a Christian household, and I left the church when I was like 13 or something. But when I was around 8 or 9, I was having really disturbing nightmares. I had nightmares a lot as a child, and so around 8 or 9, I had them with such, like, I had them so often that I finally, out of desperation, I prayed to God to make I just said, make my dreams go away. I didn't say make the nightmares. I just said, oh, I don't want to dream at all. And I didn't.
He handed you a joint.
I didn't dream.
Yeah, and that's when you started smoking weed and problem solved. Okay. Uh-huh.
I didn't have dreams for 2 years after that.
Damn.
And I don't know what that was about. I mean, I was practicing witchcraft at 11, so I don't.
That's badass.
I mean, I just don't see that. I don't see the difference. But anyway, I just think it's interesting. I think that angels are there. Angels are spirits,
Demons with
they're
demons with more elaborate cosplays.
It's just how are you perceiving it? It's kind of your own projection, really. So, like, what are you projecting?
Huh.
Well, let's go with Max next for his experience. The old man in the chair.
Well, I read the instructions in that link you sent me, and I'm kind of picking and choosing what I think might work.
By the way, I sent the fucking wrong link. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It kind of worked. It kind of did.
Yeah,
but,
you sent him like the
I sent
call
the
upon
one.
your holy guardian angel
Philemopedia?
40-day
Yeah.
Aleister Crowley ritual that even he
It takes 8
gave
months.
up
That
on.
even he gave up on, right?
It takes
Yes, I have important
8 months,
butt
but-
stuff to do.
Yes.
I need to get out of here. 40
some-
days with no
I'm
butt
so
stuff.
sorry.
I'm not doing this. I gotta get out of here.
But I
Like
did
my-
it at night.
Mr. Crowley.
Took a shower, kind of set up an area on top of my dresser with a candle and lit some sage, and I just kind of
Crowley in a row.
tried to stop thinking for a while, and then I mean I wasn't
that hard?
physically there, but I kind of saw this figure with it had like bull's horns, and it wasn't wearing
Whoa.
clothes, but it had like beads all over it and stuff.
That's really
Minotaur.
awesome. That is really awesome.
Yeah, but
I was gripping my docky tight when this bad
So
motherfucker showed up.
I asked kind of a canned question like who are you? What do they call you back home? And
What do they call you back home?
what do they
What
call
did
you?
it say?
It
Vinny
was
from
just
the blog.
It was like a bunch of TV noise and buzzing.
Ooh.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome.
This could be a
God,
good
this-
movie
I kind of
scene.
I was there, and then it started doing something really weird, like backing up and then going up and down, and I don't know. But anyways, I woke up after that, and the next day, I didn't do any of the preparation, ritual bathing, or any of that, and
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah,
I just-
fuck that shit.
I
Hold
kinda-
on.
Do that.
I was
What
just kind of transported to this very nondescript city. There wasn't like color.
So you were in Sacramento, is what
There
you're
was-
saying?
there was-
Okay.
there was kind of an absence of color on the buildings, and there were no signs or anything. And I saw all these kind of blue lights floating around. So
Whoa.
yeah,
Was this a meditation or
It wa-
was this in
it
sleep?
was meditation. I crossed my
Wow.
legs and like try and, I wouldn't say turn on powers or anything, but just think about kind of what I want to go somewhere. I want to escape my situation for a little while and see what's on the other side. So yeah, but I'm
What kind of feeling did you have when you saw like the blue lights and that sort of thing?
I felt like they represented something. I don't know if they were angels or demons or
I mean, did they give
souls wandering around. But it seemed like it was safe. It wasn't like a will-o'-the-wisp or mischief-causing creature.
A will-o'-the-wisp.
Yeah.
Will of the Wisp.
Yeah.
Been a while since I've heard such a name spoken, but it gives me chills.
Yeah, I
every
don't
time.
know. I
Yeah.
don't
Such a
want to.
terrible beast.
Yeah, like, what'd you do when you saw that bad motherfucker? Are you sure that first thing wasn't the will o' the wisp? Because it sounded like one badass bejeweled bead creature.
No,
I-
will-o'-the-wisp is like a wispy wind.
I don't know. They were beads, but
Beads
they were,
wisp in the wind.
They were
Were
like
they anal beads?
Were they anal-
crystallized
yeah, did they-
experiences
I
or
see
something.
where
many-
Andrew's going with
No, I
this.
didn't think that, but now I'm. But
now
good
you're
butt
thinking
stuff.
it, so-
Hold on, are we talking about butt stuff? Because there's definitely a magical purpose for that. We have to
Definitely.
explore this
Sex
avenue.
magic. That's the next topic we got.
We're going to explore this avenue to the fullest extent.
Anyways, sorry.
So, I mean, both experiences, I was kind of taken aback at the end.
Taking it back.
Just kind of, yeah, I woke up and I'm like, okay, just write it all down. Don't think about what it means right now. Just hiccup. Yeah.
Do you have any more ideas on what it means now?
Do you, yeah, did you get any insight from your angel? What did you get a message from this messenger? Or
I got
did it just
I got like a vision of like somewhere in California. I don't know. It might have been Fresno.
Fresno. Sounds like Fresno.
Bakersfield.
It's
Yeah.
Easter in Bakersfield.
Stock.
So I don't know what to do with that information, but I don't know. I'm gonna be scanning Google News about Fresno for a while.
Interesting.
Yeah. Wait,
Fresno's
so
a really cool city. When my
what-
band would tour,
what
that
I-
was my favorite place.
Great burritos.
why is
Yeah.
Max always getting to these really kind of podunk locales? Like last week, he literally went to Ophir.
Ophir.
I've never even heard of
this
that
week-
place.
This week, he was mentally transported to
Fresno.
a dead mall in Fresno.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
There's a hole in the ground.
this is just like,
Mall.
this is just like, Max, come on, man. Did you get a message from the damn creature or
No,
not?
no,
Say, I got your
I
back.
think you're
throw,
kind of
I'm
afraid of
already
it.
an
I'm very
angel.
visual. So I mean,
Are you? Yeah, you do. You get you're like super tapped into the other side. Whether that's on the spectrum of
well,
like,
I mean,
demonic or
I've had
angelic.
times in the past where I might have been there, like when they put me under for a surgery. There was
Yeah,
like,
see, this
there
I
was a
think, is the
copy
heart-
of me, but older, and we were on a raft circling like a whirlpool, and he was just
What
laughing.
the
What the fuck,
fuck?
Max? See that
Laughing in
That's
my
rad.
I would have pulled that one out of the hat a little sooner if
Yeah.
I had been you, because that's
But that wasn't like under my will. I had the gas, and
Yeah, but still, I mean, people go under and then they go blank.
So
I mean-
just do whippets.
I mean,
and
I
you'll
used
get
to
it.
have a lot of dreams.
all right. Good plan. I'll be right back,
I used
guys.
to have a lot of dreams.
Do you
as
think a
kid.
50
I didn't
pack will be enough
understand
for
them, But it was a
everyone?
little scary, you know,
Ugh.
Yeah.
seeing all the stuff you don't understand.
I
But
had the recurring dream of like this witch that would follow me around
oh yeah,
I'll get you, my pretty.
for like
yeah.
every night for like 6 months.
Wizard
as a
of Oz
child.
was a scary movie.
It was.
She wasn't that kind of
Kinda
witch.
was.
Okay. Oh, it was
Good
like
witch,
some
bad
goth
witch.
chick from the mall, just like wouldn't leave you alone.
No.
Hey,
rip your face
Hey.
It's a
we should go
terrifying
get our.
presence.
We should go shoplift from the Hot Topic, and you'd be like, "No, I don't want to," and then she'd be like,
they'll never let me
"You know what
back
you should
in
totally
there.
do? Get your hair dyed a crazy color. Your parents would freak out, and you'd just be like,
No.
no, they'll yell at me. I don't want
They'll make me
to.
buy it back.
You know, I'm a witch."
She collected children.
I'd say the experiment
collected
worked,
them.
and
Like
I
one
might try
colle-
doing it some more.
Nice. Well, who should go next? We have Courtney and Andrew
she
left.
collected children.
Oh, you're still on about this?
No,
witch.
it's fine.
Sorry,
I'm
I brought it
I'm
up. I
Over
just-
the
it
witch,
just-
I think.
I think
she sounds pretty cool.
She does sound pretty cool.
she was very evil and
She sounds pretty fucking evil.
kidnapped
Yeah.
me eventually
in your subconscious.
in my dreams.
Yeah. Wow, she got you.
And then I Oh, well, I don't need to go into that.
Anyway,
whole
it's
story.
fine. Yeah, it's,
I escaped, but
clearly it was a dark force.
Bunch
you
of
were
butt stuff and
battling, and then that was it. It was over. Okay.
cute.
So, who is next? Shall we go with Courtney or Andrew?
Did Courtney do hers yet?
I haven't done mine yet.
Oh.
Do you want to do yours first?
Well, yeah. So you first sent me the thing to do with the guided meditation, and do the Golden Dome and that. And the Golden Dome thing was something that, like, I had heard from my dad for a
Really?
long time, because, like, he was into guided meditation since I was, like, a kid, and he's recently gotten back into it.
Oh,
and,
cool.
And this was one that, like, I actually think I had recognized him listening to at one point, but he turned it off because he was like, this was a bunch of mumbo jumbo crap. Like, I get the Golden Dome and a lot of this stuff, but this one was a bunch of crap. And then I had a similar reaction to it, which was just like, oh, great, more new age crap, just what I didn't need. Don't tell me how to meditate, YouTube video. And kind of fucked off for a minute and didn't really try to do the thing again until nightfall came. And then I drove my car to a secret parking lot out by the river where I sometimes harvest souls, but wasn't doing that today. Today I was trying to summon an angel for protective force and
So
guidance.
you went to like your negative haunting grounds to go and make contact with like a higher dimensional being.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or is this just a place you leave dead bodies or something?
No,
Harvesting souls?
this is where you got Courtney got it, and you're like trying to make me seem like some kind of psycho killer, and I'm way too handsome
Which is
for that
clearly
shit.
not
yeah,
true. For the record.
which I am way too handsome for that shit. Attractive people, loud attractive people are never serial killers. Quiet weirdo looking people are serial killers.
What about Ted Bundy? Wasn't he quite a looker?
Yeah, Ted was.
My taste in guys is going to be the end of me.
Yeah, old Uncle Ted was. No, I mean.
Was Ted? Yeah, it was Dahmer or Bundy? I think it was Bundy that like all the girls swooned for.
Look.
I don't know
And
about
whoever
Anyway,
wants
so
that.
I haunt a
Anyway.
parking lot with demons sometimes. It's pretty fun, and I can get stuff in return for
So you
summoning
went to
the-
your demonic
Yes.
playground. Okay.
Stop it. Enough with this.
I didn't know you had a demonic.
I do,
playground.
yes. So anyway, and a bunch of demons. This is like when Adam was doing this. A bunch of demons
bunch of
pop
demons
up,
came out.
I'm getting kind of like I'm like, no, I'm summoning an angel. Like, I'm in just like this meditative state, like trying to summon an angel, and like, the demons are like, ain't no angel coming for your ass.
Yeah, I feel that.
What the
fuck you doing in this neighborhood?
What the fuck you need an angel for,
You
bitch?
summon
Like-
an Arby's instead.
The Arby's does fit into this at some point, actually.
Well, they're trying to get their advertising in everywhere, so let's not help Arby's right now.
no.
They're
Yeah,
secretly worming their ways into our subconscious.
they got a demon who's
I've
like,
never
my
been
bra-
to
my-
Arby's ever once in my life.
Oh.
For the record.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
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 We must go.
Nah.
We absolutely must go
I
to
like
Arby's.
having that badge.
No, it's not a badge. You gotta go get
Okay, let's talk about
some
your
curly
experience.
fries.
You have to be pretty drunk.
Okay,
I'd
no, you
imagine,
don't have to be.
Or high?
Yeah,
Weird.
you know
All
it.
right.
Anyway,
So hit us with the truth.
So anyway, the demons are kind of telling me there's no angel, and what would I need an angel for anyway? When they've got all these when they got all this demon stuff we can do, I try to ignore that. Eventually, I wind up doing demonic shit that night. But anyway, I was pissed because after eventually I was like, fucking angel, like, show me that you're here. And then the HPS lamp in the parking lot above me, like, went out for a second. And Like it got
Ooh.
really dark, like, and then it came back on, and this like red swarm of horrible stinging insects came flying towards my face, and my angel was like, here's a little taste of what hell looks like, and fucking ghosted me after that shit. And I was like, fuck angels, fuck all this. Demons are reliable, cool friends who you can shitpost things with. And I just kind of cursed my angel and cursed everything, and then went about my shit. The next day, I had to go do a job that I do sometimes.
We'll just say.
No, I'll say what it is. I transport display vehicles to like display installations.
That's too much.
So I went to work. It was a very long day. We started at noon and got done at 4, and I had barely checked my messages all day. I was on the road most of it, and I had not gotten on Discord at all, which is join our Discord if you like online chat.
Yes,
by the way,
please.
We have a server. Let's Just Be Wizards. Links will be on all the videos. So yes, if you're savvy enough to know what
For
Discord
fuck's sake,
is.
what?
So anyway, no, this is my experience. This thing takes a minute, and I've got an overarching
His
point that I'm
experience is
trying to
sacred,
make.
Courtney.
That I'm actually trying to make here. So
Discord is not sacred.
yes, it is. It's very important to me. It's where I talk to a lot of my friends. So don't tell me about my experience here. I hadn't like checked my messages, and this is important to the story. I hadn't checked my Discord messages, and then about 2 a.m. when I'm in the back in the shop truck and we're heading back and I'm not driving anymore, I'm like, oh, I'll just get my phone out for a second. Though like my head felt like it weighed a zillion fucking tons and I just could barely keep my eyes open. And I've got 5 pings on my incoming messages, and it's a friend of mine who's like super mad about something that happened while I wasn't in chat, and is just mad at me about it, and spinning all this kind of really sort of aggressive, vaguely threatening stuff. And I'm like, whoa, whatever's going on here. He's super upset, and I text him I'm 3 a.m. I'm heading back home, I'm not really sure what you're talking about right now. And he would just be like, it's exactly what I said. You don't understand. And I was just like by that point, I just feel this sinking feeling in my gut. Oh fuck, my friend is fucking pissed at me. And he's also going to do some stuff that's going to piss off my other friends. Mm-hmm. My other friends are going to want to just fucking write this guy off after the assholery that he is behaving in right now, because he was acting really ridiculous.
You're stuck in the middle.
So, and I'm stuck in the middle with you, and I'm the following morning comes, and I get up and I clean my room because it had gotten cluttered, and just clean my room, sit down at my desk, and before I was like, I gotta fucking talk to, I gotta talk to my friend, to talk to my other friends and see what's up, if they've communicated with him and all. And I'm just man, I feel and then I'm man, I feel like this bad stuff is happening, for a reason, or just this negativity that I'm experiencing. And then I just sit down and I just try to calmly meditate for a second, and then I don't know, I just felt this really fucking bright energy, this just electric thing. And then I was like, oh shit, is this the guardian angel?
Wow.
Now that I'm having a shitty time, is this when you show up? And then right then I get a ping at that moment, but so there's the sign, and it's my friend messaging me.
Is he complaining? Or?
No, this is different. And no, it was a different friend. It was in another chat. We were discussing the other guy. The other guy hadn't gotten back to me. I hadn't even said anything to him.
Yeah.
This was a ping from the previous night's chat. Someone finally pinged back. because I'd gone to another group and been like, "What's up with dude? Why is he freaking out right now?" But it was like 3 a.m, so no one was up.
So you got a ping confirmation.
So no, a ping, that means that someone messaged me back and I got a notification. So someone messaged me back, and like I didn't open my eyes. I didn't look at the message. Then I just asked the angel. I took it as a sign, and I asked the angel, like, what do I say to make this all just not be like, to just, what do I say? And then like I saw the fucking chat text in front of me with just like what I had typed, and then I came up and I typed the thing and I sent it to him.
Whoa, so you visualized what you were supposed to type?
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's powerful.
That is.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
This was Friday morning.
Wow.
Yeah, it definitely changed my outlook for the rest of the day. I mean, I'm still kind of salty at my friend for what, like, as to what was said, like, that's irrelevant to the experience I'm talking about. Like, I don't need to talk about him or how how things have gone. But like, since I said that thing, like, he did get back to me and, was like, pretty much said, I don't know what I was on about that night. Like, please don't, like, don't think any of that stuff. Like, regardless of that, like, I think everything worked out. Yeah.
Wow.
Them
I was not
angels.
expecting that from you, Drew.
All right, there's my story about
I kind
angels.
of wish that
you
I had
hadn't interrupted my story there and told me to get
No, because you started talking about Discord.
But
and
that
you went
was
off.
but the Discord message. Telling about our Discord. If you want to have any cosmic conversations with me on Discord, please
Plug
join
the
our
Discord.
server.
I do wish I had done mine first though, because yours is way better. I'm like,
Max, you got the hiccups today.
yeah, Max.
You should be
want
hiccuping
have
into
some
the
water.
mic every once in a
Terrible.
while.
Yeah, hiccup. Give us every once in a while.
Just
a little
keep the
pulse.
mic close to your mouth and we'll capture every hiccup you get.
We're gonna have the Max
We don't
Lehman
want these
hiccup
wasted.
special.
But I
reel.
do kind of wish that I had just gone first, because this is like my realm.
Oh, now I'm. Yeah. What did I like? Was
No,
mine that good?
It was
'Cause,
really
like, I was.
interesting
Yeah.
It was.
it was kind of like, it's the cynic having the experience.
Well, I still feel like angels only show up when you're having a problem, and that, well, I mean, you've said yourself you have anxiety. So, like, I imagine that feeling of anxiety is something where you would be in a it's an upsetting place to be emotionally. So I could see how getting good at channeling these powers would be a very effective thing for you.
Well, actually, I think it's really just what your intent is, because
I don't know.
well, let me just explain why
Yeah.
I'm saying that, because I have had anxiety and PTSD, admittedly, since I was like, started manifesting when I was like 14 or so. But that's also around the age that I got into astral projection, and then I started getting deep into like communicating with demons when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And I was at the height of my depression, anxiety. I felt hopeless all the time. I was really mentally unwell and unhappy at that time. And I was heavily in communication with demons. And I feel that was because demons feed off of negative energy, and it was like this feedback loop. It was like I would give them negative energy, they would give me some energy, and I'd go, oh, this is so cool, because they're so much faster. It seems like it's like the quick
They're
route.
ready to make a deal, and you can, if you're like, it's a very strategic cosmic game when you're dealing with them. And if you like, I'm not a master at this. I play around with it a lot, but I treat it like I think people play chess, where like if you can move one here, then the thing the other one does gets blocked. Like if we get good enough at this, like, we do get jobs when we go to hell. Like hell would be bad if you hated the idea of it, but if you got good enough at being demonic, I feel like, you get to hell, and then part of your suffering is having to manage a ton of demons at once.
Well, I never believed in hell
Have
I
you
still
seen
don't.
your pretty face is going to hell?
I have.
Oh, that's a great
It's a
show.
good, funny one.
Never seen it.
I liked the
Sorry.
one. I
We'll
liked the
watch
one
it.
with the dog. That was a good episode.
Oh yes,
I want to eat a bar of dark chocolate.
Cerebus.
No, it's to protect the dog.
Oh man. Yeah. So Courtney, why don't we go? Is that so? That's your experience.
That was
or-
my that.
I don't wanna cut you off.
Yeah, that was that's pretty much it in a nutshell. After that, I felt very positively energized and was just
Wow.
like,
Wow, that's
wow,
super
I can
cool
do
to hear.
anything. And then I didn't really accomplish doing anything. In fact, I tried working on my car and then got stuck on a bolt that fused and got a splitting headache and had to lie down. So I wound up feeling pretty crappy for a while after that. But then after I got up, I felt better, and my friends showed up, and we went, hung out for most of yesterday and this morning. It's a good weekend.
So maybe it's not such a bad thing to like try and
I think that angels
create
are.
a communication
I
bridge.
think that angels are really good when you're having a like just some kind of problem. I think they're good problems, like messengers, if you will. And like I was like back to this, like yeah, it's just simple as being a messenger, you know. You know, there is a higher power that knows the thing, that obviously knows the right thing for you to do. Like we don't, you know, left path as we are, we know we consciously don't do the right thing that we're supposed to do sometimes, or we make that part of the pursuit even. Like to get something to break through that says like, you know what's right and here's the right thing to do, and if you're able to like, you know, convene with this power, you know, inside of you, like, you know, angels have helped me, you know, communicate things to my friends. And, you know, I think because that reason, like, you know, as demonic as I am, like, no, I'm not evil. I'm not fucking dark on the inside. Like, there's like a certain projection.
I never said you were.
No, but like, you know, if you've ever felt that maybe you are, like, I feel like I definitely, when I started doing this, like, well, just when you're demonic, you're just like, you're fucked and hell is real. And
Yeah.
And that this is,
you're projecting whatever you're feeling out into like the exterior, and so what you're seeing around you is a reflection of what you're thinking about, I think, or what, you know, where your mindset is.
yeah.
So if your mindset is acquisition, greed, what, you know, lower vibrational shit.
I mean, I think that I mean, that's the weird thing, because like, you know, lower vibrational stuff, like, you know, if okay, as much as you might have bargained to do that, like the joke is actually still kind of on you, because it's like, I would love to do something chill and glamorous, like have a popular podcast or something like that. You'd have to do a good job at that podcast in order for that to be the thing that you did to get, like, you know, rewarded, make money at, you know. We all have like dreams that you want, but like I think the idea of trading in your demonic dollars for things, like I think that, yeah, the objective here is that, like, aren't we trying to find a shortcut to being wizards, just getting our powers already? I mean, I think if we're learning anything on this show, it's that it totally doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
That's growth, and I really appreciate that.
All
It
right.
makes me happy to hear.
Applause. And now,
What did you do?
Now the letdown.
yeah, and you're of course, yeah,
The Angel Master. No, okay, so
Angel Master.
I don't know if
We'll
I
be
should
right
say.
Angel Master on the CW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I go into it?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll just say this because I might as well. I don't tell most people this when I first meet them, so now it feels weird to have this recorded and put out somewhere. But
breaking news.
breaking news. In 2010, so 8 years ago, is when I was attuned for angelic Reiki. And if you don't know what Reiki is, it's a new age, but it's old. It's an ancient healing methodology from Japan. But so I was first attuned in regular Japanese traditional Reiki. And then I got attuned for angelic Reiki probably 6 months after that. And I have to say I noticed a significant difference. The main difference being that after I was attuned for angelic Reiki, I started having mystical experiences with angels. And that's another story for another time. It's like way too long to get into it. But basically, I have had communication with angels where I had all my questions about spirituality answered. Pretty much like literally all of my questions answered about the nature of reality and metaphysics and whatever. And I had additional attunements from angels to like amp up my healing abilities in dreams, but I would call them more like visions because I would wake up and be like super lucid and then have more of them. So I have a long history of communicating with angels. However, my guardian angels, of which I think I'm supposed to have, I think I have 2. I'm not quite clear on it yet.
What?
Yeah. Well, people usually have more than one. So there's different schools of thought on this, but
They're
anyway,
like caseworkers.
or it's like spirit guides. You know, no one says people say my spirit guide, but people usually use the plural term. But anyway, the guardian angel thing is something that I haven't spent a lot of time on. I spent a lot more time on working with archangels, because they help you with when you're doing healing. And so when I did angelic Reiki healing, the archangels are what I channel to do the healing. So I have
Who's Uriel?
Uriel is the archangel of earth. So basically just all things that are like earthly. I guess most people consider Uriel male, although angels are supposed to be androgynous, but he governs the earth and like all the animals and stuff. But yeah, so my guardian angels, I haven't.
Sorry, that had nothing.
No, that's okay. My guardian angels, I haven't had a ton of communication with them. I first made contact with them while I was doing the angelic Reiki attunements because I was having a hard time with the concept of angels and believing in it, and I thought it was this Christian concept, and I totally rejected it in the beginning. And but they made themselves. They made me aware of them by giving me physical signs in my body. Like they came, sounds gross. They came into my body, but like my whole body started vibrating.
There's nothing gross about
coming into my body. And then they started like my whole body started vibrating like so intensely, but it was like a warm, fuzzy feeling. It wasn't like it was almost like sleep paralysis, but not in a bad way. It was like in a good way. Like I felt like this calm, loving energy.
like you got infested by angels.
Totally. And it was so nice. And sometimes when I do Reiki,
that sort of reminds me of the crawling I felt when the bug swarm thing was had. Did I mention that part where like I could feel the bugs and everything?
mention
Yeah,
the
okay.
bugs.
yeah. So
He said this was creepy and awful feeling, and this is what hell is like. It was awful.
yeah, so it's really intense when you have this. It's like it's an almost invasive thing, but this was very calming and soothing. Anyway, so that happened, back in 2010 when I was doing the angelic Reiki thing, and I was like, oh wow, you guys are real. And then they kept doing that over and over again during the training and the attunements that I received. So for the homework, I did the exercise that we talked about at the beginning of the episode tonight, and so I did that exercise. I tried to pick up messages, but it felt kind of like distant and difficult to connect to. Something that I was reconnecting with that I hadn't attempted to connect with in a while. So but I did have a couple of profound experiences, one of them being a message that they were going to I'm wearing an amethyst necklace right now, and they basically communicated to me that they were going to be protecting me and keeping me aware of their presence, because that's one of the things that I asked them to do, because it's hard for me to stay conscious of their presence. They told me that they would be infusing themselves into this amethyst that I wear around my neck pretty much every day now, and that it would become like my shield, my metaphysical shield. So they told me that, or sort of intuited this to me, and they also they implanted this weird, or like they brought up this weird, I'll just say this weird memory came up in my mind of this city that I traveled to probably like 11 or 12 years ago.
Fresno?
No, it was in the Bay Area. And I was going to say the name, but I'm not going to say it now because I feel like it's too personal, because I've never known the names of my guardian angels.
All right, if you can guess the town, please leave it in the comment section below.
Yes.
They just reminded me of a time when I visited this town, and there's a lot of San.
Okay, it's a San or a Saint?
that narrows it down.
Who knows?
I think you were in San Ramon.
Oh shit!
Because that's where I was to pick up the car on my job.
Okay, you know what? Just for the sake of the podcast right now, I'm going to tell you that is actually that is where it was.
Did I stick that on the first
that's
guess?
Fucking weird.
Yeah.
So I've never been to San Ramon except for this one time that I went out there to visit somebody, and it's such a weird blip in my history of my life. Why would I've not remembered it since it happened? So that came into my mind, and then I asked the angels, as I was saying earlier, they give me signs through my physical sensations. So I asked the angels, can you please tell me, like, at least one of you, can you just tell me what your name is? Because I'd never known their names. And they gave me that memory. And then I thought, what about that memory is significant? And I said, what town was that? And I said, I think it was San Ramon. And then I got this chill all the way down the left side of my body. And it was super intense. And I thought, maybe it's cold in here. I got to put a blanket over me. And I did it again. And then again, chill down the left side of my body.
Wow.
And I said, so your name is Ramon or San Ramon or something, like some variation of that. Got
Johnny
the
Ramone.
left. And then I was...
Ramon is such a hot sounding name.
Ramon. I know.
I know. Isn't that? It's like,
I know. It's so weird.
God damn.
And then I asked because I thought maybe it's feminine. And I said, is it Ramona? And then I got a chill down the right side of my body. And I said, okay, so does that mean no? And then they did a chill down the left side, confirming that left was yes and right was no.
It's a bro.
So I got a couple things, which was that I got some confirmation and some feeling of lasting security with the idea that my necklace, my amethyst, is now my shield, that I can, kind of...
We call it the Shield of San Ramon.
The Shield of San Ramon. And I got a name of one of my angels. So that was really cool for me, because I reconnected with something that I feel like I left by the wayside several years ago.
When was this?
These happened in two different meditations. So just over the past week, I can't remember exactly which nights it was.
That's weird. That's probably the San Ramon thing. That was probably when I was in San Ramon.
When were you in San Ramon?
When I was dropping off the car.
I mean, which day last week?
That was Thursday.
And that was the night that you spent the night at your parents'?
Yeah.
Adam? That was the night. That's fucking weird.
I was
That's
in
double
San
weird.
Ramon. I was in San Ramon
Thursday
that
night was the night that I...
Well,
I remember Adam
up,
wasn't here.
Yeah, we drove up to Tahoe. We drove back. I mean, we drove to San Ramon at about noon, and then got there in the afternoon. Drove from San Ramon to Tahoe, back to San Ramon. It was like 2 a.m. when we got back to San Ramon, and then left.
Wow. Well,
so
this happened a lot earlier.
I was in San Ramon twice that day, though.
Okay, yeah. That's all pretty weird.
So Thursday afternoon and Friday morning, I was in San Ramon.
Yeah, I haven't been there in apparently 12 years or 11 years.
I go there somewhat frequently.
Great tacos.
I don't know. I never.
It's in like the hills, right?
Well, we get off at Crow Canyon Drive off 680.
$680. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah. Okay. Wow. Weird. Not weird, but interesting.
Yeah. Fascinating coincidence. Well, no, I don't believe that anymore.
Synchronicity.
No, I believe there may be some sort of
Angel work going on.
work going on with San Ramon. I got something unusual to talk about the car but I don't want to talk about that on the podcast.
That's only going to be for our Patreon subscribers. So
If
be
you want to
sure-
join
Yeah.
our Discord and ask me about the car, I'll be happy to tell you about it one-on-one. But it requires a lot more explaining than this section of the show.
And by the way, we've got a
warrants.
lot of cool rewards on Patreon right now. For just $1, you get a shout out on the show, and not only that, but I believe you get we'll cast a spell for you. And the higher up in tiers,
You put a spell on you.
yeah, we could put a spell on anyone. Really, just let us know. Also, Courtney, I believe you offered to do chart readings.
I will do Yes, I
Not
will do
offered, but for a
not a full on reading because that's like a lot of work. But we'll give you like some insight, like one or two insights into your chart.
nice. So
You have to send us your deets, and we'll look it up for you.
So yeah, I believe that's a tier on Patreon, and if it's not, then just email us about that.
Astro tier.
Astro tier. Yeah. do you
Hold
have
on a second. I just realized something.
What?
You had that vision about San Ramon.
Yeah.
You also had a dream that you came over to my house and drank a beer. Are we convening on a subconscious plane at this
On
point?
an astro plane, late at
I
night.
don't know if I am.
I don't know, Max.
I was
Max is
Fresno.
over here with some fucking beasts from.
Yeah, he had a bejeweled creature.
Maybe Max, you just need to keep tapping in. Just keep tapping
Keep
in,
trying.
and do the golden dome of protection. I can't stress that enough. Even if you're not fucking with angels, just do that. If you meditate, any type of spiritual work, cast that. That has gotten me through a lot of weird times.
Golden
Unless
Dome.
unless you're trying to be
For
in a s-
Gold Club members.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I get
that's
the
a tier.
platinum dome.
Yeah.
That's not Michael. That's who
all,
is that?
all all first-time subscribers will automatically be
Archon.
Silver
Well, the
Dome
platinum
certified.
grid is a whole.
What
other
about
thing,
Ori
but that's-
Halcom?
After
it's a
your
real
first
thing.
25 copies of our podcast, you will be raised to Golden Dome level
Ooh,
members.
tell me more about Golden Dome membership.
Golden Dome membership
Exclusive.
includes a physical copy of our podcast,
every podcast.
on CD, along with one copy of the podcast of our CD littered on the highway on Interstate
We'll take a
10.
picture of it and text it to you so you can tell we really did.
Confirm that we in fact littered one disc on the interstate on Arizona.
For someone stuck on the highway walking down that long stretch of road to the
highway
gas
of life.
station, he sees, just a
We'll break a CD on the highway. of
an
life.
old CD someone didn't want.
No, because you realize that satanic group is going to go and pick them all up. And then they're going to get every copy of our...
Oh, I was just
podcast.
thinking because it's so iconic, the CD that's on the side of the road. that's
copies of our
smashed.
CDs, yes, that we're going to throw out of car doors. One of them will work. Someone will hear something.
I'll be like, what the fuck?
They'll be like, how did this get here?
CDs barely survive being lent to friends. They're not going to survive
Yeah.
being
Well,
thrown out of
good
a car.
news.
We'll keep them in
Good
sleeves.
news.
Throw them, litter
Good
them in
news.
sleeves.
Good news. These are going to be old school cardboard sleeve style.
Oh.
We'll record it on vinyl.
No, hold on. But wait, there's more. Double platinum dome members, which adds an additional dome of protection outside of your current dome of inner dome of protection.
I don't go anywhere without those two domes.
Well,
just personally, but go
will
ahead.
be rewarded with a full library on audio cassette of every single episode of Let's Just Be Wizards, including the rare lost episode, Littered on the
Are
Highway.
you sure we should give that episode out?
Only
I don't
for
think-
double platinum members, and that's that's after a platinum
vetting.
membership has been established.
We need to have a vetting for
If
that.
you
Yeah, you have to
You're
come
just
and interview
going to
for
be-
that
You
level.
just send
Platinum
pictures of
dome.
yourself. Tell us how much.
don't
Clothed or
send
not.
no pictures.
What?
Do not send.
What?
Please don't send us pictures.
Oh, sorry.
Never send pics to anyone on the internet.
Oh, okay. That's being
Ever?
safe. Internet safe is don't send pictures to anyone ever.
Yep.
Don't send your family photos to your family.
No.
Definitely
Oh,
not.
hell
that.
not.
Don't send us a fucking Christmas card and show us how happy
Yeah.
you are.
Oh,
First of
I'd
all,
like
yeah.
that.
Trust
No,
us.
that just
Don't do
pisses
it.
me off.
Oh, by the way, this also, yeah, that's. I'd like to say that I checked the email today. I posted a Facebook post about it too, and I really did. I opened up the Let's Just Be Wizards at gmail.com email, and nothing new.
No.
Well, good. Thank you for checking it.
But last time I checked it, I found out that I'd missed, some very important messages, and I feel stupid for that. So I am going to be more diligent about checking it. And what else can I say? The new co-op. What about it?
I haven't been in a while. I got
Bring
a
it
little
out.
burned out on it.
I
I
was
kind of
just
don't
there.
care about the new food co-op in Sacramento. Not that I don't care about it. I mean, it's full of good stuff, but it's no longer like.
The somehow the magic is worn off a bit.
it's no
Yeah.
longer
God,
topical.
Like no, I don't know. I know we were so into it when it was happening,
first opened.
and now we're just kind of.
I hated it from day one. I like my old get the fuck out of my way. There's not enough room in here co-op.
Janky co-op. I do not miss that place.
I miss it so much.
Well, luckily it'll be a Goodwill soon, and you can go find
No.
junk.
Go find junk there. Go rummage through trash.
Go clamor at the electronics wall there. Pretend you're buying supplements.
Oh, I love clamoring through
Find
thrift
I
stores.
know.
70s
God.
relics.
Oh, that extension wall, cord wall, extension cord wall.
Yeah, sometimes
That smell of other people's
You-
bacteria
It's
built
really
up
gross.
over
A lot of
years.
those are pretty gross sometimes, but still.
Anyways,
Like mixed with plastic.
that was our episode on
I like
angels.
to lick. That's why I like to lick all of them.
Okay, anyway.
Send us more topic ideas in any form. You could send us a Facebook message. You could send us an email. Figure it out, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, I want to say thank you for listening to this week's episode. Let's Just Be Wizards. Next week we will have an awesome new topic and activity to cover, or we'll just cover a thing that has to do with being a wizard, like we did last week. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. It's super helpful to the show, and we will transmit infinite power to you through the ethers. Email us, let's just be wizards at gmail.com. Hit us up on Facebook, yada, yada, yada. We have a Patreon now. Support us on there. Get awesome gifts and things. And yeah, anything you guys need to plug before we take off?
Alien Club is now on iTunes.
Alien Club is Courtney's other podcast.
Yeah, it's very exclusive.
And Andrew, anything you want to plug?
Please join us on Discord. Let's Just Be Wizard. Links in the YouTube video.
Max?
I'm working on some slanty short stories. Probably open a WordPress account soon. Follow
Yes.
for details.
That's awesome. I want to hear your fiction. All right. So yeah, I'm going to close with a quote. I am good, but not an angel. I do sin, but I am not the devil. I am just a small girl in a big world trying to find someone to love. Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, then they killed her.
Yeah, they did. Well, she knew too much, so you know how that
Yeah.
goes. Understandably. All right. Later, everybody.
Thanks, angels.
Good night, everyone.